Okay, guys, and we're back with another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stoner podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the main event from UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen v Figueredo. Obviously, that fight just happened, and Sandhagen won via, I think, third round TKO. Now, great performance from Cory Sandhagen there, where we saw him pretty much take next to no damage in that fight against someone like Figueredo, who's a top 5 ranked guy. Figueredo is very much the truth, very much established at, obviously, former world champion at flyweight and definitely established at bantamweight, and is no joke. Like, if you're beating a guy like Figueredo, like you're one of the top fighters at those weight divisions, And Cory Sandhagen done that in the first round, took basically no damage on the feet, got to the grappling. I think in the first round, Figgy engaged the grappling, but the great thing about Sandhagen is, even if you can get to Sandhagen with the grappling, even if you can take him down, you're not keeping him down. And Sandhagen was able to work from bottom and get onto a dominant position and start to do some damage to Figgy. Second round was similar. And then in the third round, I mean the fight was basically the same. Come the third round, the grappling was initiated again. Then Sandhagen was sort of getting to a good position, gets on top and starts banging out Figgy. I think Figgy had an injury with his knee, it looked like, and he tapped to strikes. Hopefully that knee injury isn't too bad. Not really sure what happened there. I don't think it's been confirmed at the moment of me recording this, what that knee injury was. But following that performance, that really impressive win from Sandhagen, because to do that to Figueredo, not many people were able to do that to Figueredo. Granted, of course, Figgy lost to Peter Yan. Again, no shame in losing to Peter Yan. He's a great fighter and stylistically difficult for everyone in the division, in my opinion. Right? We saw how close Peter Yan v Sean O'Malley was. Of course, a guy like Merab could beat him, because Merab is just built different. But that sort of brings me on to my next point. Cory Sandhagen was calling for that Merab fight next, or not necessarily Merab fight, the title shot next. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I know my co-host Evan, he often talks about fighters going on a one-fight winning streak and then trying to start making claims for the world title shot. And I don't generally like that. Similar to Evan, generally I don't like that. But in this case with Sandhagen, where Sandhagen was already ranked number 4 and he fought someone ranked number 5, to be honest, first of all, let's get into the fact that we don't see enough top contenders fight each other in the UFC anymore. Right? The fact that we had ranked number 4 and ranked number 5 fighting each other sort of speaks to, how rare this sort of thing feels like it happens to me. Not to me, happens in the UFC rather. It feels pretty rare, feels like it doesn't happen often enough, and it should be happening, because these can definitely act as title eliminators, obviously. Right, and rightfully so. Sandhagen's won. That's sort of the title eliminator. He should be one of the guys next in line for the title shot. Now, I'm not going to say he should definitely be in line. Not going to say that, but he's in that conversation 100%. Of course, he was already ranked number 4, so he's in that conversation. But in my opinion, now is definitely more than in that conversation. And to be honest, regardless of whoever wins this O'Malley v Merab 2 fight, the winner of that should be fighting Sandhagen next, because it's a fresh matchup for both of them. Sandhagen hasn't fought Merab before, and Sandhagen hasn't fought O'Malley before. And I really, really like O'Malley v Sandhagen as a stylistic matchup. I mean, actually, there's a part of me that doesn't. There's a part of me that just thinks both of these guys would just stay on the outside and just faint for 5 rounds. At least a guy like Merab is going to force the action. Like, whether you like it or not, Merab is coming for you, right? So, there is that. And to be honest, I don't fancy Sandhagen to beat... Actually, I fancy Sandhagen to beat Sean O'Malley. I don't fancy him to beat Merab, though. And Merab will probably win against O'Malley, and he'd probably beat Sandhagen too. So, I mean, that's a few more title defences for Merab potentially lined up. But, yeah, it's a great performance from Sandhagen, and I do sort of fancy him for a title shot next. Being honest, I do fancy him after, like I said, Merab v O'Malley 2. I do fancy Sandhagen to be in that conversation for the next title shot. But yeah, I'd be curious to know what you guys thought of that fight, Sandhagen v Figgy. And do you think Sandhagen should get a title shot next? That's it from me, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag. And I'm out. Peace.